see 2 minutes and 14 seconds having elapsed in the third period. Face off in the center ice area. Each team with 3 goals. McIllargy cleared it to the boards. Cournoyer ticked it away from him. Lonsberry coming up on the left side. Now Cournoyer with it. It goes to the other side out over the line. And Robinson cleared it in on the offside.
Well, some of these Flyers, when the season is over, will be, of course, traveling back home to Canada. And I understand that a few of them are going to be up in Flin Flon, the area where Bobby Clark and Reggie Leach played their junior hockey. They're going to be there for the first annual Sportsman's Dinner, Flin Flon Bomber Hockey Club. It's going to be on July the 1st. Boy, there's a battle-scarred young warrior. That's McIllargy.
Incidentally, Cournoyer, the captain of the Canadians, Coach Scotty Bowman, and Errol Thompson of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they will be the guests at the Simons Line Sports Dinner in St. John on June the 22nd. And then the next day, on the 23rd, these 3 gentlemen will be going to O'Leary in Prince Edward Island. Robinson flicked it into Stevenson. Now Watson out to Clark on the right side. Leach going after it. Steps away from Lemaire in on his wrong wing. Leach feeding in there, and Robinson gets it to the line, not out. Here's Clark the Dagger. Dagger going in, taking the shot. And Dryden covering up brilliantly on the short side.
Boy, that was quite a play. The Canadians almost sent Lemaire into the clear, but Jimmy Watson alertly stopped the puck right at the Montreal line. And then they worked into position for the shot. And Ken Dryden, again, severely tested. The Canadians have had just 1 shot on goal in this period. The Flyers have had 3. There's Frank Torpe, the gentleman to the right of your screen in the light suit, the head of security for the NHL. Among the things that he's guarding here tonight, Danny, along with the broadcasters, I trust, the Stanley Cup, which is in the building somewhere.
I'll tell you where the Stanley Cup is. It is in the trunk of Lefty Reed's car inside the rink. Now it is Kelly and Roberts acting up on the right side. Here's Lemaire trying to clear it out. Haney takes it at center, scoots over on the left side, takes the shot, and it's blocked by Bladen. It's Crisp over to Joe Watson on the left side to Kelly. Kelly to good enough. He clears it into the Canadian zone. In there goes Nyrop, and he attempts to clear it, and it goes over the glass.
It's been interesting in this period so far to see Scotty Bowman juggling his lines. He's got Lafleur out there right now against Kelly, but on the last 2 times that Bobby Clark faced off, with Shiro making the last change, as soon as the Canadians had possession, they whipped the puck into Philadelphia territory, and they came off the ice to allow the now, in this period, the Lemaire-Gainey-Roberts line to come on.
And there is Robinson adjusting the tape on his stick at the Canadiens bench. Philadelphia, Bladen winds up, and he drifts the shot wide. Now Chartres on the right side got clear of it, and that's going to be icing when Bladen touches it against the Canadiens.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
If you take pictures and you like color, get ready. Your instant is here from Kodak. Introducing Kodak Instant cameras and film. In minutes, they give you clean, dry, instant pictures with color by Kodak.
Can you feel our brand new
Kodak Instant cameras and film at your photo dealers now.
stick. And it is Kindrachuk, Zaleski, and Schultz. Here's Kindrachuk rolling it. It's in front of the net. Zaleski was tied up and a point ahead. Rise run of Cournoyer. Cournoyer centering it. Lambert takes the shot. And that is an immense save by Stevenson on Lambert.
That's the only scoring chance the Canadians have had. We're early in this period at 3:42, but Wayne Stevenson sliding across to his right. I'm not so sure that he really knew he had it. He just played it instinctively with the puck coming across to Lambert off the backhand pass from Cournoyer, and Lambert to the left side just let it go. He played it well, didn't waste any time at all. Stevenson in the right place at the right time.
And the face-off in the Philadelphia zone. Shot getting set. Shot shoots. And what a save by Stevenson on shot. A great right leg save by Stevenson. There's a terrific shot by Shutt wide. Philadelphia coming out. Here's Bridgman on the right side, in over the Canadiens line. Feeds it in front. And the point for Montreal ahead to Mahovlich. Mahovlich down in over the Philadelphia line. Here's Mahovlich behind the net. He centered it. It rolls in front, and Jimmy Watson cleared it to the right wing. Dornhofer at center with Bridgman and Lonsberry and Watson. They're over the line. There's the shot. And it's off the stick over the glass behind Dryden.
Well, Danny, if you were the Canadians and you had a player to pick for a chance like the last one they had, you might just pick Steve Shutt to be left all alone in front of the goaltender. What a save by Stevenson. He was out a little bit. He kicked the right leg. You can maybe question Stevenson a couple of times in this game, particularly perhaps on the Bouchard goal in the first period. I'll tell you, he has come up big back-to-back here in the third off Lambert and Steve Shutt. Now, there's Scotty Bowman complaining about a change that Fred Shero is making, and after a couple of hays, that's as far as Scotty's going to get. So Reggie Leach is out there again, and he moves into the rim of the circle along with Bobby Clark and Bill Barber.
4 minutes and 28 seconds have gone by in the third period. And the score is tied at 3 goals. Robinson clearing it out. Here's Lafleur with Shutt. Shutt over the line. Trying to get it back to Lafleur. And an excellent defensive play by Dupont. Savard shooting it in. Out is good enough behind the net. Here's Leach out for Barber off his stick. Robinson clears it to Gainey. He shoots it in. Dupont behind the net, tied up by Lemaire. Lemaire trying to center it. They struggle on the boards. And it is Clark lugging it out over the line with Leach and Barber at center. Clark fades to the right side, and Leach is offside on his wrong wing.
Well, as was the case the other night in Game 3 on Thursday, the teams start changing much more rapidly as the third period wears on. And there you see it. The teams are now 8 seconds past the 5-minute mark. It's tied 3-3. Shutt, Bouchard, and Cournoyer have scored for Montreal. Leach, Barber, and Dupont for Philadelphia. This has not been a particularly rough game, and yet all 3 Montreal goals have come on power plays, and 2 of the 3 Flyer goals have.
Now Kelly clearing it across the line. Savard to Robinson. Robinson knocked to the center. Kelly on it again. He gives it to Chris. There's a shot. And it is held by Dryden.
Well, Terry Crisp and Bob Kelly out there represent fresh legs as far as the Flyers are concerned. They have not seen that much action. This is the first time that Crisp has been in uniform in the series, and Kelly has seen just spot duty.
Canadians fail to get out the first time. Now Chartrand over the line, and he ripped a booming blast, and it was wide. Bouchard takes a shot, knocked down. Here come the Flyers at center. Zaleski on the right wing over the line, and his shot off Robinson's stick. And again, it's a souvenir, and the face-off will be in Canadian territory as we look at Zaleski.
Well, he's out on the right side, and Pierre Bouchard is his opposite left winger, or was. Now Shero makes a change. So Bouchard as a forward on at least 2 occasions tonight. Lonsberry, Bridgman, and Dornhofer taking over for the defending Stanley Cup champion Flyers.
Now then, Philadelphia. Everybody up. Watson into the corner for Bridgman. Here's Bridgman twisting and turning to Dornhofer. Dornhofer trying to shake off Risebrough. Now Risebrough has it into the center ice area with Chartlow over the line. Risebrough, a backhand shot right in front of Bouchard. And Stevenson came up with a big save on Bouchard.
Well, in an unfamiliar role, that is forward on left wing. Pierre Bouchard was in the right spot. Doug Risebrough had done the puck carrying for the most part for the Canadians. The puck comes out to the short side on Stevenson's right. And Bouchard is right there, but he doesn't have much room, as you can see. He lets it go on a backhand, but Stevenson had covered up. Scotty Bowman's now used 23 different line combinations, according to Ron Andrews. The Flyers, 16 in the first period, and that's the way they have stayed. They haven't done any. That year hasn't done much juggling in the last two, or any, really.
And there are 13 minutes and 36 seconds left in the third period. We have Lemaire at center, Lambert on one wing, and Cournoyer on the other. Leach, Park, and Barber for Philadelphia. Now Lemaire centered it, and Leach is starting out for Philadelphia. He's all alone, cutting in on the left side. And Savard covered him well. Now Lambert, he lost it. Lemaire has it, winds up for the shot. It was hard but wide. Now then Barber. Out it goes. Clark gets it over to McIlhargey. To Barber over the line. And the Canadians fail to clear it out. Here's Clark into the corner. Back to Jimmy Watson. There's a shot off the leg. Leach is around the net. He centered it. And Savard cleared it into the corner. Here's Savard to Cournoyer. Lambert has it. And Leach back there to take over and drift it back to the Canadians' line. Robinson coming up. He shoots it into Philadelphia territory. And the Canadians and the Flyers making changes while the play goes on. Here's Lonsberry streaking up on the right side. Trying to center it. And Bridgman couldn't knock it down. Peter Mahovlich with Schutt. One man back. Here's Mahovlich going in. Over to Schutt. And Schutt couldn't get it for a shot. Schutt failed to pick it up cleanly. And the puck is back at the Canadians' blue line. Here's Peter Mahovlich going ahead with Schutt and Lafleur. Schutt over the line, shoots, and Stevenson blocked a bullet-like shot by Schutt. Now then Dupont cleared it into the corner, good enough, ahead to Lonsberry at center. Here's Bridgman over the line. Canadians clear it into the center ice area. Here is Schultz making a shot. Schultz going in over the line, and the shot is over the top of the net, and it is on the bench.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Emission controls on new cars can increase engine heat and oil contamination. This could affect the life of your car's engine. For long engine life, premium quality SO Extra motor oil acts like a ring of protection to guard against the increased effect of heat and oil contamination. SO Extra motor oil, the ring of protection, because we're working to keep you moving.
Canadians had two straight 2-on-1 opportunities. This is the first one. Mahovlich to Schutt. And this time, Schutt doesn't get a shot away. He did the second time. He carried the puck down the right side with Lafleur. He let it go. Stevenson made a good save on the short side.
11 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period. Philadelphia 3, Montreal 3. And LaPointe clearing it down on the left side. Watson touching it. And then is racing against the Canadians.
And again, Scotty Bowman has sent out Pierre Bouchard and Rick Chartrand on the wings against Stan Selesky and Dave Schultz. So the physical matchups would have to be about even Steven right there. The teams are changing very rapidly right now. Bowman has made a change. The Flyers stand pat.
And now Philadelphia. Every man up. Lambert ahead to Cournoyer, breaking it on the left side. Shoots, and a big again by Stevenson.
Well, the last time the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup was 3 years ago, and Yvan Cournoyer scored the winning goal. He was hot after a go-ahead goal in the third period right here. He let it go, and Stevenson did a good job. He did the splits, made the stop, as Cournoyer was sent into the clear. Danny, I think the Flyers, even though the score is tied, they now are starting to edge up. They want that next goal, and they are getting caught, and the Canadiens have now caught them 3 times in a row with just one defenseman back in front of Wayne Stevenson.
11 minutes and 33 seconds remaining. And there is somebody getting his back massaged.
Larry Robinson.
Canadians with the defense in over the line. It is Kelly and Gainey who are moving about. And now Gilmore tells good enough to get back out over the circle. Here's Cournoyer trying to center it. He gets it again. He gets it to Gainey. Gainey winding up for a shot. It's wide. Cournoyer knocked into the boards by good enough. Here's good enough for Philadelphia. And it's picked up by DuPont. Ahead it goes. Chris in the center ice area. DuPont shooting it into the Canadian zone. And here's Kelly into the corner. He gives it off to Chris. He lost it to Lemaire. Lemaire's left wing pass goes down the ice. Here's the penalty coming up to Philadelphia. Good enough.
Oh, that's a critical call with 10:57 remaining in the third period. The score, Montreal 3, Philadelphia 3.
What happens to every dollar Imperial Oil takes in? In 1975, out of every dollar of revenue, operating costs and taxes and royalties accounted for 94 cents. What was left, 6 cents, was the company's profit. Part of this went to shareholders. The rest, more than half these earnings, added to borrowed and other internally generated funds, all totaling $326 million, was invested by Imperial in Canadian petroleum supply development.
Larry Goodenough of the Flyers has been penalized at the 9:03 mark of this third period. Score tied. The call is interference as Goodenough dumped the Canadians' Bob Gainey. So a critical moment in the hockey game. And the Canadians, who have 3 power play goals, they are 3 for 3 in that department, have a power play opportunity, the first for either club here in the third period.
It will be Mahovlich, Shutt, and Lafleur, Robinson, and Savard on the power play for Montreal. And defending for Philadelphia, we have Clark and Barber up front, DuPont on defense with Watson. This is a big moment in the hockey game with the score tied at 3 goals. Mahovlich in on the boards against Watson. Shutt is looking for it. They try to get it loose. Now it goes to Lafleur. Here's Lafleur. Back it goes to Savard. Savard shoots to the head and is shot down the ice by Watson. A minute and 35 seconds left in the penalty. Canadians organizing on the power play. They have Lafleur coming out with Shutt, Mahovlich, and Robinson along the Shutt. Long shot by Lafleur. And again, that's over the glass.
Well, the crowd hanging on. Rather quiet, really, at the moment. Even that last clearing shot by the Flyers didn't get as large a cheer as something like that usually does in this building. Because they realize now the gravity of this situation for the home team, the Canadians, getting the man advantage. Lloyd Gilmore sending Goodenough to the penalty box. He has a minute and 24 left to serve.
Scotty Bowman sending out Cournoyer with Mahovlich and Lambert, Lafleur back, along with Lapointe. No change for Philadelphia. Now we are setting from the face-off. Here's Peter Mahovlich trying to get a shot, and he hit a player and it bounced near the corner. Here's Lapointe shooting it in. Mahovlich centered it, and Clark has it for Philadelphia. Coming away with Barber. Clark cutting it on the right side, and he fired a vicious shot to the top left-hand corner. Now it's Lafleur for Montreal coming out with Mahovlich shut over the line. Mahovlich goes to center to the Philadelphia line. Here's Mahovlich working his way, and he centered it right in front. And Lambert couldn't get a stick on it. Now to the far side. Here's Jimmy Watson. Ahead it goes to Selesky. Kindrachuk is on the other side. And the point cleared it into the corner to Cournoyer. Cournoyer ahead to Lambert. At center. Across the line. He drops it to LaPointe. Here's LaPointe feeding it in, and Bladen has it for Philadelphia. Philadelphia shooting it down the ice with 20 seconds left in the penalty. Now Roberts ahead to Lemaire. Lemaire dropped it into the corner. Gainey going after it. Joe Watson shot it. He hit Roberts. Now Watson cleared it up. Robinson knocked it down, keeping it in for Montreal. Here's Gainey going to the far side. Gainey giving it to Savard. He spins around. The penalty has expired. Roberts centered it. Now it's Gainey. Gainey keeping it in for the Canadians. In on the board, Savard bumped by Goodenough. Now Gainey is going to get a penalty. Gainey is going off.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
No matter what you're saving for, come on and save with us. Whatever goals you have in store, you'll reach them soon with us.
Plus we have a savings plan to turn your money into more.
Come on everybody, grow with us.
For short, medium, or long-term savings, watch your money grow at the Bank of Nova Scotia.
Come on everybody, grow with us.
Ralph Gainey of the Montreal Canadiens has been penalized for holding at 11:26. The Canadiens had some pretty good pressure inside the Flyers' line even after Goodenough had returned to the ice. But right here, Gainey puts the grab on the stick of Oris Kindrachuk. Down goes Kindrachuk, and off goes Gainey to the penalty box. So the crowd has come alive as the Flyers get their first power play chance with the score tied 3-3.
And a big opportunity here for Philadelphia. Canadians with the point. Shooting it down the net. Philadelphia with Leach, Barber, and Clark, along with Goodenough and DuPont. Barber cleared it into the corner. There's Savard failing to shoot it out over the line. It's back to Goodenough. Over on this side to DuPont. DuPont into the corner to Leach. Into Clark. Clark trying to center it against Savard. Savard gets a high stick, and he holds the puck against the board.
And the Canadians motion that Serge Savard may be in some trouble, and the trainer, Pierre Maillard, leaves the bench and has gone quickly to the scene in the corner to the right of Dryden in the Montreal zone. Savard still down on the ice on his knees after moving in along the boards on that play, and there you see him. So this is not a good turn of events for Montreal, as Savard has been just simply outstanding in the playoffs, and I feel Danny in particular this series more than the first two. But right now he is in a little bit of trouble, and we are going to take another look at it just to see what happens. Apparently it's a stick involved up around the face, and there is Bobby Clark, and oh, that's it right there. So Savard stays out, shakes it off, and he's still on the ice with Jarvis, Roberts, and LaPointe.
A minute and 29 seconds left at the penalty to Gainey. And now Freddie Shiro wants to make a change. He's sending Dornhofer on, but Gilmore says no. And they have to stick with the alignment they have on the ice at the present time. Leach, Clark, Barber, DuPont, and Goodenough. Canadians with Jarvis at center. Jarvis gets the draws into the corner. Here's Clark. Clark trying to center it. Barber has it. DuPont closing in for the shot. And he rips one off the corner glass. Here come the Canadians. Jarvis with Roberts. Jarvis cutting in on the left side. Over to Roberts. And he couldn't control it in front of the net. Now Philadelphia coming back on the right side. Leach trying to pick it up. Roberts cleared it to center. Here is Jarvis. Jarvis feeds it into Philadelphia territory. And there are 55 seconds left in the penalty to Gainey. Score tied at 3 goals, 7:20 remaining in the third period. Philadelphia having difficulty getting their power play organized. Now it is Lonsberry out over the line with Kindrachuk and Dornhofer. It's off Lonsberry's stick. Dryden tried to clear it. He hit Lonsberry. Here's Jimmy Watson closing in. And Roberts getting a break. Roberts coming down on the right side. Winds up for the shot. And he was nowhere near the net. Now it's Lonsberry coming to center. In over the line with Watson and Dornhofer. Lonsberry shooting it. Another shot. Oh! Dryden reached back. And he held it up.
Boy, what a scoring chance. And we've had a few of them, with the Canadians getting breaks at one end, but watch this one. The puck gets in behind Dryden on the deflection as he makes the save, and then it goes behind him. He turns around. The puck, he looked in the net, I guess. How can you explain it? I mean, he just flopped, and the puck stayed out. What a chance. Dornhofer was involved in the play, and Ken Dryden, making like an acrobat, grabbed the puck, and it's still a 3-3 hockey game. 8 seconds left in the penalty to Bob Gainey. We're going to take another look at that last chance, Danny, in from back of the net. And there's Dornhofer's shot coming in. Now watch Dryden. It bounced clear, but the first bounce was the dangerous one as it went in behind him. And the Canadians got the Argo bounce that time.
And as you say, Dick, 8 seconds left in the penalty. 6:42 remaining in regulation time. And the teams are tied at 3 goals. Philadelphia, everybody up for this face-off between Kindrachuk and Mahovley. Now they fight for it. Dornhofer giving it to Bladen over. It goes to Kindrachuk, and the shot was blocked by Robinson. Gainey out of the penalty box. Going into Philadelphia territory. Here's Dornhofer coming back through center. He chopped it into the corner. Zaleski going after Robinson, who knocked it into the center ice area. Watson clearing it ahead. Finally picked up by Zaleski, and he rolls it into Canadian territory. Here is Robinson, failing to clear it out against Bridgman. Now he tries it again. Judd can't get it out. Here's Zaleski. Zaleski is checked. LaFleur breaking away with Judd at center. LaFleur in over the line. Over it goes to Judd going in for the shot. And it was Joe Watson who was in front of that one. There's LaFleur. He scores! LaFleur! LaFleur putting Montreal ahead 4-3.
And the Canadians pour off the bench. 5:42 left in regulation time. And the man who was the National Hockey League's Art Ross scoring champion has given his team a very important go-ahead goal. As you see it there, Mahovlich to LaFleur, and he had that room on the top on Stevenson's stick side, and the Philadelphia goaltender did not move on the play. So Guy LaFleur whips home a goal to give the Canadians a 4-3 lead with 5:42 left in regulation time.
Second, Guy LaFleur scoring for Montreal and assisted to Peter Mahovlich and Steve Shutt.
Mahovlich and Shutt on the assist, and the time is 14-18. And we have a delay. Well, they had come close, Danny. It's the old story. I missed them at one end, and the Kindrachuk shot was blocked by the Montreal defense. He had Zaleski wide open on the left side. That should have been a big one. Elected to shoot. It was blocked before it got to Dryden.
And now, Philadelphia trailing by 1. And their hockey life for this year in serious jeopardy. Canadians' Risebrough was dumped. Here is Barber. It'll be all out now for the Flyers. They clear it into the Canadian zone. Savard laid it on the board. Now Gainey, he's upended. Gets it in to Risebrough. He tried to hit Cournoyer with a lead pass. Cournoyer stays with it, trying to jam it from the short side. And it's Leach passing it out. Finally, it's grabbed off by Bladen. Bladen at center with Leach, winds up for the shot. Dryden smartly kicked it over the glass to his left.
the goal again. Lafleur from Mahovlich and shot at 14-18. The Canadians trailing 3-2 in the final minute of the second period. Tied it on Cournoyer's goal, and now they have gone ahead, and the Flyers, as both teams look so exhausted in this oppressive heat here at the Spectrum tonight, know that they got to get one back in a hurry. 5 minutes exactly remaining in this third period of play. And you see Marcel Pelletier just moving back out of the picture. Barry Ashby, the Flyers official family, and Keith Allen, the general manager. Their expressions tell it all.
Face off to the left of Dryden. It will be Kindrachuk against Mahovlich. Schultz and Selesky playing up. Now here's Schutt. Ahead on the right side to Lafleur. Being watched and dropped back to Schutt. Schutt is upended by Schultz. Here's Lafleur out to Peter Mahovlich. He scores! Mahovlich. And they empty that Canadiens bench again.
Well, there was a lot of talk, Danny, about Lafleur and Mahovlich not being up to par in this series. Harry Sinton was quoted the other day as saying it's just amazing how the Canadians keep winning with Lafleur and Mahovlich not playing as well as they did in the regular season. But here is Lafleur scoring at 14-18, and now Pete Mahovlich with perhaps the biggest goal of the hockey game as he backhands it after the setup from Lafleur. And this one comes with 4:44 left in regulation time. Mahovlich scoring, Lafleur and Schutt in on the assist, so the big line, as it's called in Montreal, connects back-to-back, and it's now 5-3 Canadians.
And I remember Red Fisher at the end of the second period when the Montreal team got that late goal. We asked him for a prediction, and he said it'll be 5-3 for Montreal. It's 5-3 for Montreal now, but the game is not over. 4 minutes and 44 seconds left. Philadelphia team, as we all know, an explosive club, but now you will see Montreal at the art of checking, something at which they are most proficient. Now Philadelphia starting out. Kindrachuk ahead to Selesky, broken up by Robinson. And he ripped it back into Philadelphia territory. Now Jimmy Watson from the side of the net, starting out. Lambert and Lemaire forechecking. Here's Kindrachuk back on the right side, trying to get through there. It's centered, and Lambert gobbles it up for Montreal and shoots it down the ice. And the clock indicating exactly 4 minutes left in the third period. Selesky shooting it in. The point in the corner. He flicked it over the glass unwittingly, and a scramble for a souvenir, and it was finally grabbed by an alert young man.
15-16, the time of the last Montreal goal. Mahovlich from Lafleur and Schutt. They scored twice in 58 seconds, and the defending champions now realize they have 3:53 to go.
And Dick, if Canadians should hold on and win, they will be arriving at Dorval and not at Mirabel. It'll be Dorval if they should win. But as we say, it's not over yet. There's the shot to the short side by DuPont. Here's Schutt, chopping it ahead. Lafleur stumbles. And now it is DuPont in behind the net. Lafleur and Mahovlich and Schutt forechecking. DuPont hands it off to Bladen ahead on the left side. Off Lonsberry. Bouchard clearing it down the ice. That will be icing if DuPont touches it before Lafleur. He does, and the face-off in the Canadian zone. At 3:20 left in the third period.
Well, Scotty Bowman, I'm sure, even though his face might not show it, breathing a little bit easier. This team has just played, what can you say, so well. And the Flyers hoping to catch up. And the crowd now starting to give the Philadelphia Flyers a standing ovation. This is really something. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation time.
Now Philadelphia, everybody up. Here is Gainey. He clears it down the ice. And that is going to be another icing against the Canadians. I don't think that Coach Bowman likes that pattern of performance. He would prefer if they just dump it out, because when you ice it, You're bringing that face-off deep into Canadians' territory, and with these sharpshooters like Barber and Leach and Clark and Watson and good enough out there, one goal here could make a tremendous difference. There is what Bowman would like to see happen, and it happened with Robinson just dumping it to center. And it's over the glass, over the boards at the penalty box.
3:03 left in regulation time.
Dick, talking about banquets, they'll be on the banquet tour, and Yvan Lambert will be at the University of Prince Edward Island at their Panthers Boosters Celebrity Dinner on June the 4th. Now here's Gainey intercepting at center. He hit Leach with it. Now Leach coming in again on his wrong wing. Savard after him and knocked it away. In on the boards, they fight for it. Here's Barber. Leach is tied up. He gets it loose. He cleared it into the crease, and Dryden on the short side went down and gloved it. 2:39 left.
Good play by Reg Leach, Danny, that time. He hung tough after it appeared as though Savard had him stopped on the play. And once again, the fans rise to their feet. Here's Leach, 27. He breaks away from the checking and tries for that short side sweep around. Dryden hung tough and made the save.
Now from the face-off, Zaleski backhanded it, but it had not been done fairly, so they'll do it over again. It is Kindrachuk, Lonsberry, Zaleski, DuPont, and Bladen. Canadians leading 5-3. Finally, after LaPointe couldn't get it out over the line, Lemaire shot it again into the penalty box.
Well, I think the fans are watching the clock almost as much as they're watching the play right now. This time tips away.
Here is Bladen bouncing it into Dryden. On at the point, he shoots it off the boards down the ice. It's not going to go over the goal line. And it is Lemaire forechecking on DuPont. Cournoyer tried to tie up Lonsberry. DuPont on the left side, knocked down by Lemaire. Cournoyer at the line, he falls. And Kindrachuk has it with Zaleski. Flyers clearing it into the corner. There is Bouchard ahead to Mahavlich. He's jammed into the boards by Zaleski. Zaleski going in now against Bouchard. Kindrachuk back to Bladen. There's the shot, and it goes to DuPont. His shot is stopped by LaPointe. Barber takes it, and the rebound. Kindrachuk almost had it handed to him by Dryden. Now, here's Zaleski around the net. Out in front it comes. And Cournoyer with a minute and 30 seconds gives it to Mahavlich. He flicked it in, and the Canadians making a wholesale change. Philadelphia. Bladen couldn't get out against Jarvis. Now then Watson on the left side ahead to Barber. Barber coming to center. He lost it, and Watson rolled it in over the line. There's Clark, and it's golfed away by Robinson.
And it comes with 1:09 remaining, and if the Stanley Cup is won tonight, we will be down in the dressing room area for the post-game interviews. And I have just been told that officially Reg Leach has just been named winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy as the MVP of the playoffs. And there he is for his 19-goal performance. Reggie Leach of the Flyers.
The assumption there is that the game is over, no doubt. Now here's Clark. Jarvis rolls it to center. 1 minute left. 5-3 Montreal. And if the game ends tonight in favor of Montreal and they win the Stanley Cup, and they have to be prohibitive odds now with a 2-goal lead, then Leach will become the second player in the history of the Smythe Trophy to win it as a member of a losing team. Crozier won it when Montreal defeated Detroit in 1966.
Gee, Danny, I thought that was going to be your last question to me of the season. I was waiting for it, but once I knew the answer.
Not too many questions. Pose your way, Dick, that you can't come up with the answer. 59 seconds left. Montreal Canadiens 5, Philadelphia 3. Canadiens in the playoffs this year to this point have lost but one game. What a magnificent record. Now Philadelphia, good enough, ahead to Clark. Clark comes to center, shooting it in. There's Savard. What a series he's had. He cleared it into the corner. Savard on the move. And this Montreal defense, some say the greatest ever. Well, the jury will be out on that, but it has been some defense, Dick.
Well, Danny, you don't go through the Stanley Cup playoffs and play 3 rounds and lose just once, if that's what's going to happen, and not have just a super defense. They have thrown up a blanket in front of Ken Dryden at times. And I think perhaps, and the Flyer players talk this way too, the big thing about the Montreal defense, it's not perhaps so much their defense as their offense. The fact that once they get a hold of that puck in their own zone, they can get it out of there so quickly, and they've been able to move it up so fast. It hasn't given the other team a chance for too much in the way of sustained pressure inside the Montreal line. Reggie Leach has managed to break through, of course. He's been a big scorer. He's had 5 goals in this series in the 4 games, but otherwise they just shut the door on everybody.
And now we are 32 seconds away from the end of the 1975-76 National Hockey League season. It would appear 32 seconds, Canadians leading 5-3. Philadelphia, everybody up, back it goes to Leach. He has a tremendous shot. There it is, and he fired it wide. Lemaire gets it to the line. Now Canadians, Lapointe finally shoots it down the ice. And the net is empty. Philadelphia has lifted. Stevenson, last ditch stand by Philadelphia. 15 seconds left and the face-off in Canadians territory.
And that would have been rather interesting had that shot by Leach found the target. And it's maybe fitting now that Scotty Bowman sends out Jarvis, Gainey, and Jim Roberts for this face-off with 15 seconds left, because you talk about the Canadians in the playoffs right from game 1, and you've got to talk about that particular combination. Bobby Clark can tell you about it, I'm sure.
And Robinson coming to the Canadians bench. There is Bobby Clark, captain.
Boy, that picture tells a lot, Danny. Hey, there was another loser, too, one year, another goaltender, Glenn Hall. 68.
Now, this could be the final face-off. Let's see what happens. Jarvis and Clark struggle forward. Canadians get it to the line, not out. Now Gainey is going to try to clear it out. Here's Clark over on an open point. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. The game is over, and the Montreal Canadiens defeat Philadelphia 4 consecutive games with 1 second apparently. 1 second showing on the clock.
Now what's going to happen? 1 second to go and the whistle went. Now this is going to be interesting if Gilmore and if the league decides to play out the 1 second. The handshakes have already begun at center ice, and the Flyers are coming off their bench, and perhaps the season will end 1 second short. And there you see it in the spirit of good sportsmanship here at the Spectrum. And the fans now, I would have to think, are giving the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens outshot the Flyers in the game 30-24, and the goals that won it, Lafleur at 14-18, Havlich at 15-16, and the Canadiens win 5-3. And even though 1 second left to play, showed on the clock, the Flyers say, what the heck, it's all over. And there you see now the traditional post-game handshakes, and this ends the season. And the long season wasn't quite so long, Danny. It could have gone to the 27th of May. It ends on the 16th. So you get some very tired hockey players. They've just announced that Reggie Leach has won the Conn Smythe Trophy, and of course that gives the fans something to cheer about. Danny, this was a great series, really. There was a lot of talk, especially after what happened when the Flyers and the Leafs got together about what might happen. But Joe Watson summed it up, I thought, well. At the beginning, he said, hockey, this series has to be good for hockey, and I think it was. Reggie Leach has been good for hockey. He's just shown tremendous talent. And the Canadiens as a team have been superb.
And you know, Dick, we've been saying many good things about the players of both teams, things that they deserve, comments and observations. But let us state right here, And a fellow by the name of William Scott Bowman did one heck of a job as the coach of the Montreal Canadiens this year. He started the year. His objective was, let's cut down on goals against. Let's win that Vezina Trophy. If we win the Vezina Trophy, and there you see the fellow who won it, Ken Dryden, then we, in all probability, will win the Stanley Cup. And that is impeccable strategy fashioned by Scott Bowman.
Well, the Flyers have left the ice. The Stanley Cup, you see it now, is in the area. In fact, they have brought it out just to the edge of the boards, and NHL President Clarence Campbell, and he expects this kind of a reaction wherever he goes. At times like this, walks out along with Brian O'Neill and Frank Torpey of the league front office. The Flyers have now all completely left the ice, and the Canadiens are alone with the photographers, really, and the league executives. And now we are going to have the official on-ice presentation of the Stanley Cup. And Yvan Cournoyer, in his first year as captain of the Canadiens, succeeding Henri Richard, has the honor of accepting the cup, and there it is. No microphones, no speeches this time at center ice. And the Canadian captain gets just a tremendous ovation. Just a tremendous ovation here in Philadelphia. Well, that's a very pleasant turnaround from the rather ugly feelings that developed earlier on in this playoff year. You know, Danny, the Canadiens lost only 11 games in the regular season. They lost just once in the playoffs. It has just been a tremendous year for this club. And I think this year, more than any other in the past that I can remember, it's been much more of a team effort as opposed to the outstanding individual stars that this club has always had.
Dick, I've been with the Canadiens, associated with them many, many years. I've seen teams with tremendous spirit, but I think, traveling with the club this year, I would have to say that never have I witnessed such camaraderie, such goodwill, such great spirit among the players as this year, 1975. 76, and I would think that that tremendous spirit contributed immensely to the success of the hockey club as we look again at Cournoyer embracing lovingly that Stanley Cup which Montreal has not had since back in 1973. Now, in some places, that's not a very long period of time. But when you talk about Montreal, this is their 17th Stanley Cup since the Cup came into the possession of the National Hockey League. It's their 19th overall. They won it twice prior to the Cup coming into the possession of the National Hockey League. So when they go 3 years without winning it, it's a bit of a drought.
Well, keep your eye here on the monitor. The Canadiens celebrate. Larry Robinson's got to be in there somewhere. He has just been named the winner of the Sport Magazine Award as the MVP in the playoffs. Bernie Perron won it the last 2 years, and they give that award annually to a member of the winning Stanley Cup team. So that's it. The Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup. In just a minute, the three-star selection.
Shot. It's one.
That discipline game, when they get the chance, they're going to put it in.
Okay, well, Guy Lafleur got the chance for the winner, and it was a good pass by Mahovlich, and Wayne Stevenson just did not move. The puck was in the net that quickly. Many of Lafleur's have gone
Look at the check. Let's just go back here just a little bit. Go back here. Right away, look at, right, you see Bouchard taking the man and creating the loose puck, and this is where the goal was earned, right there. Now watch again. Lafleur will take the puck, but Shutt, who just has had a tremendous series, has an opportunity to go offside. Look, he stays onside. That's the key. Stays onside, and just a great pass to him. And look at a shot here. Now watch Pete, his pursuit. He goes into the corner and picks up the puck. Now watch the Philadelphia defense in front of the net. Let's stop it. Right here, they get their signals mixed up. If one had moved out on Lafleur and the other one taken Shutt in front of the net, maybe Lafleur wouldn't have put it in, but certainly heck of a goal. Great pursuit by Big Peter.
You can talk about the winner all you want, then the clincher, and that really at that point did clinch the Stanley Cup when Peter Mahovlich scored, and the Canadiens win it 5-3. Here is the clinching goal.
Same fella again. Look at this back pass into Shutt. And Shutt just is knocked down. The puck goes into the corner. Let's back it up a little bit. Back it up. Now you'll see Lafleur take a look. All right, let her go again. Now the puck will go to LaFleur. He'll take the look. He sees Mahavlich coming in the middle. He just wheels around. Look at the big hole. He throws it out. And Peter on his stick and right between Stevenson's legs when he makes the move. And right then and there, oh, when you get that clincher, oh, life's sweet.
Thank you very much to Howie Meeker. And now we're setting up in the Montreal dressing room area. Dick Irvin is there, and we'll just make sure everything's working right. Any other comment about the way the Canadians won it in the third period?
Yeah, certainly big Larry Robinson and their defense. Their defense, as Dick said, is just so big, so strong, and move it out so fast. And I would have to agree that their defense, backed by the goaltending, is certainly the best defense I've ever seen on a Montreal
Well, I'll be
Canadian
surprised
team.
if Robinson, Lapointe, and Savard aren't wearing another uniform in September, that of Team Canada, of course. And now Dick is ready. Let's go to the dressing room of the Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. Dick?
This is Dick Irvin in the dressing room area of the Montreal Canadiens, who have just won the Stanley Cup, defeating the defending champion Philadelphia Flyers. Mr. Clarence Campbell, the president of the National Hockey League, is with me, and he will now again officially present the cup to Montreal captain Yvan Cornway. Mr. Campbell.
Yvan, congratulations to your team and all those associated with you in this very fine victory. This is one of the more delightful privileges that I enjoy, and this time for the 30th occasion to present the Stanley Cup.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kimball. I think the Flyer lost, but you got to have a pretty good team to win 2 years in a row and be in the final the next year. But this year, I think we got a pretty good team. They have a pretty good crowd, but we still have a pretty good one. And this year, I think we're the best all over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yvan, and congratulations. It's quite a thrill, your first year. Yvan, Danny Galvin was mentioning as we closed off the broadcast that he felt this year the spirit in the Canadians has been the best, and he's been with the team since 1952-53. Would you agree?
I think so. I think we started the first year with pretty good guys, and we finished like we started. We started good and we finished good. Everybody did more than 100%, and the coach and the assistant coach and everybody, we gave everything this year.
And the captain got a very big goal at the end of the second period. That was a very important one, right?
Well, what about time that I'm doing something? I didn't do too much in that series, and I was ready for that game, and that was a big game for us because if we're going back in Montreal, you never know what can happen, and I'm really happy that everybody did it together.
And it meant a little more maybe beating the defending champions, right?
Yes, and it's like usually Guy Lafleur put it in, and he always there for the big goal.
Yvan, again, congratulations to you and the Canadians. A great job. Well
Thank you very much.
Okay, Yvan Cornway, and as Yvan leaves, we will bring in a fellow who didn't allow too many goals to the opposition in this Stanley Cup year, Ken Dryden. And Ken, you have got to feel very relieved that it's all over.
I do. I don't really remember being as tired. Tonight was extremely hot, and I think both teams were really feeling the effects even as early as the early portions of the first period.
Ken, I thought that the Canadians throughout the playoffs showed extreme poise. You must notice it standing back there. I thought the whole team just reacted so well to anything that might be happening to them on the ice.
It's true. All year long, people have asked me how I would compare this team, given the way we had done during the regular season, and there was always something to hold back on. Other teams that I had played on and won Stanley Cups, and this team hadn't. We've won the Stanley Cup now, and this is just really an extraordinary team. By far the best team that I've ever played on, and really all over the ice. The defense played well, the forwards played well, both offensively and defensively. I've never had as much fun playing with a team as I have with this team.
Have you had time to soak in the reaction this year to when you won it your first Stanley Cup in '71?
Well, not really. That kind of series happened so quickly, and it was so unexpected and so on. I couldn't really appreciate it. This one I've appreciated all the way through, and I've enjoyed it.
Ken, just one final word. Reg Leach has won the Conn Smythe Trophy. You have a word for the Reg Leach fans? There must be several across Canada and the States.
I'm sure there must be. He scored an awful lot of goals, including a lot on me, and he had an outstanding year. I guess 80 goals in all. And really, I just hope that next year he takes it a little bit easier on us, that's all.
Ken Dryden, you also had an outstanding year again. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Right. Ken Dryden, the goaltender of the Canadians, and here's a fella. Everybody talked about the defense. Come on in here. Guy Lapointe, who had to rate high, I'm sure, in the Conn Smythe Trophy winning. That's fine, Guy. You sit because you deserve it. You are wringing wet. The boys mentioned it was very hot, Kenny said, in the goal. I guess the same thing on defense, right?
Yeah, it was pretty warm out there tonight. There was about, I will say 100 degrees, like it was so warm, and like the first period, the team, both teams, they were getting a lot on the ice, so it was lots of work tonight.
Guy, do you think that you personally played your best hockey of your career in the playoffs? Because I've watched you ever since the day you came to the NHL, and I would have to say that if it wasn't your best, it was awfully close. You feel very good, satisfied yourself?
Sure, when you win like that, you're always satisfied, you just figure, you do your work, but you got to give credit, all the team, I think all the team, if we won, all the team pulled all together, and everything were on the ice, I think all the guys that were on the ice were giving their best, so I think that's the spirit team, did all this year. So I think that's why we had success. All the guys that were pulling together. And I think we'll prove again tonight. And who could have won on the road or in Montreal would have made any difference. And I said it before. If you want to be a championship, you got to win on the road too.
Always the mark of a good team. Thank you, Guillermo. You want to get back inside with the boys. Much appreciated. Here's big Peter Mahovlich, who scored the clinching goal in this 5-3 win. And Peter, it's all over. And again, I say to you what I said to Kenny, a feeling of satisfaction, I'm sure.
Definitely, Dick. It was a great year all year long, and we set records all year long. And if we didn't win the Stanley Cup, it wouldn't have meant a darn thing. But we have a guy that won the scoring championship. We won the Vezina. We set records all year round, and then we come into the playoffs and take it in 13 games against 3 really good hockey teams. And, it's just such a satisfying year, really, Dick.
Peter, you and I like to sit around some of the other boys on the trail and think about what might happen and make the odd wager, too. Did you really think you could beat the Philadelphia Flyers in 4 straight games?
Not really, Dick. We were looking for a long series, and especially the way it started in Montreal, 2-0 right off the bat. And then... But as it went along, we had thoughts of being able to beat them because of the, they looked tired and they were using Bobby Clark quite a bit. And, there's only so much a guy can do for a team. And, it finally showed up, I think, in the last 2 games because he just didn't have any more to give. And he played great hockey just as he was. And it was just something else.
Peter, congratulations. An assist on the winning goal and the clinching goal to make it 5-3. Another great season for you, Pete. Thank you. Here, I'll move over here. Stan, that's all right. The boys are cutting in front of me. Who's this? Dougie Jarvis, who ends up with the Stanley Cup in his first Stanley Cup year. I'm going to sit down, too. And along with him is right winger Jimmy Roberts, who's been around a little bit longer than Dougie. Jimmy, let the young fella talk first. Doug, how do you feel? First year, rookie season, and you win the Stanley Cup.
It's really great. Really a tremendous feeling. And, what a highlight of my hockey career. It's just been a great year.
Jimmy Roberts keeps up the old guys' tradition here. Jimmy, way to go. I'm sure you've got a lot of good words to say about this young man here who was quite a center man for you throughout the playoffs.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm getting a little old, and he and Bobby really carried me this year. And, I got a lot of thanks to give to these 2 guys. They worked hard for me, and we had a great year as a line, and it's sure great to win that Stanley Cup again.
Jimmy, a lot of people said, hey, where does Jimmy Roberts get those legs this late in the season? You skated better, Jim, in the playoffs than you did all season. What was the story?
Well, I didn't want these kids that I'm playing with to embarrass me, and... I think I'd like to come back another year, so I guess I had to prove something in the playoffs.
Dougie, this has got to be just a great thrill. Do you look back on any one particular game in this particular series or, apart from the clinching game, in the series or in the playoffs all around that maybe stands out in your mind?
I don't know if there was one game that clinched it. I think it was just a great overall team effort. I've never seen a team with such cohesiveness as this one and such team spirit. And, I mean, guys like Jimmy here are just such tremendous team men, and they just help to pull us, younger guys together. It's just tremendous.
The penalty killing was just great, Jimmy, and I have to think that, there were some power play goals tonight, but throughout the defensive play of this hockey club, a lot of talk about the offense all year with Montreal, but I think in the final analysis in the playoffs, the defense won, and that's usually what happens, isn't it, Jim?
Well, you can't say enough about our defense. Our 5 defensemen. They just played outstanding hockey. They made it easy for us forwards. They got it out of our end in a hurry, and I don't think enough has been said about our defensemen, and I think they won it for us.
Well, the defensive play all around was great. Gentlemen, Doug Jarvis, Jimmy Roberts, congratulations. A great job in winning the Stanley Cup. Dougie Ricebrough is standing by. He's taking a couple of deep breaths because, like everybody else, he's a little shook up by all this because for Doug Ricebrough, this is his second year in the National Hockey League, and this is his first Stanley Cup, and it's got to be quite a feeling, young man.
Well, it is, and the guys work so hard, and last year we worked hard, but we just seemed to miss something, and, it's a tough ending when you work all year, you practice all the time, do all that traveling, and all of a sudden you have an empty feeling, and this year I think a lot of guys just said, well, let's do our best, let's stay healthy, let's do a lot of things different from last year, work harder, and maybe things will come our way, and it worked out that way, and we came out with a full feeling.
Doug, you had a tough act to follow on our particular show because your mother was one of our guests on the Mother's Day program. She did just a great job, and I think since then you played some of the best hockey I've ever seen you play. Scotty was double-teaming you and Dougie Jarvis really against Bobby Clark for the most part. It seemed to work out. That was the plan, right?
Well, it seemed to be that way. We tried to do that at home, and then when you get on the road, they have the advantage of changing, and it takes, pretty well 2 men to cover him and the rest of the guys on the ice. And if we can wear them down, then all the better for us. And like I say, there's a lot of guys that just
pushed incredibly, and it makes it so easy for us to follow.
Well, you played a great series, especially the last few games. Doug, congratulations. A great first Stanley Cup win. I'm sure there'll be a few more.
Thank you very much.
Sport Magazine always announces an MVP involved with the winning team in the Stanley Cup, and this year, I guess you must know it now, Larry Robinson, the Canadiens' Big Bird, has been selected as the winner. Larry was my guest after the Game 3 on the Canadian telecast after a great effort, and here you are with, what, your second Stanley Cup win, Larry? You come on now, smile. The other fellows were smiling. A little whacked out, are you?
Oh, I'm really tired, Dick. I hurt my back again the second period, and I don't know, every time I made a certain move, I'd lose my breath, so I'm just a little in pain, a little tired, a little happy. Just I can't describe it.
Well, here, I won't keep you on this bench too long, and we saw you getting a back rub. They had a good shot on television. Larry, a lot of people thought that the Flyers might be very rough. It might be a lot rougher series than what it turned out. Did it not turn out the way you expected in that respect?
Well, it wasn't. There's two ways to define rough. I think maybe they thought maybe there'd be a lot more fighting than there was, but as you know, fighting's only a part of the game, and it was a physical series, and we outscored them. We won the games, and that's why we've got the Stanley Cup right now.
Larry, they've got it because a fellow like you played so well along with everybody else. Thank you very much, Larry, and again, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Okay, and moving in now is this side. That's okay. Guy Lafleur, who scored the winning goal. Guy, can you talk just a little bit about the goal that turned out to be the winner in the 5-3 victory?
Oh, I think Peter Steve had the puck, and he gave it to Peter. Seemed to go in the corner, and he turned around. Was going through the net, so he just gave it to me. The puck was bouncing a little bit, so I just fired the puck. I didn't look at all. I just fired the puck.
Guy, it went to the right spot. Did the Flyers check you as closely in the playoffs as they did perhaps in the games in the regular season?
No, I don't think so. They were playing the man, and I think it's very tough to play that kind of hockey because we were playing for line, and everybody have to play well, and it's very tough to play that defensive game.
A tremendous season, the Art Ross Trophy for the scoring championship, the winning goal in the Stanley Cup clinching game. Congratulations. Just a great job.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Guy Lafleur of the Canadiens, and over here is a gentleman I've had a lot to do with this season in the past, Coach Scotty Woman. Congratulations, Scotty. Second Stanley Cup. The player, they bath you yet in there?
Well, I guess so. I was standing in there, and I got in the way of, I guess, some champagne.
You don't mind that. Scotty, a very satisfying victory, I'm sure. Have you had time to think to compare it with your first Stanley Cup win 3 years ago?
Well, you always remember the first one, Dick, but I think we were expected to win that one. We were maybe a little bit of a favorite because of our standing in the league, but we beat a great hockey team, a team that proved what hard work could do in the last 3 years. And, when you beat the champion, I guess it makes you feel a little better, but they gave it everything they had. I think both teams didn't have anything left, really. In the third period, we were fortunate. We both went to our bench in tonight's game, and I think it improved both clubs.
Scotty, a lot of people felt that the series that you had with the Islanders helped get you ready for the Flyers. Did you look at it that way?
Yes, the Flyers and the Islanders play similar styles. They're very strong defensively. They check very hard, and I think possibly, we were fortunate we won so many games by one goal, but then we were doing it throughout the season, and we won 70 games this year, and you can't say any more than that about a hockey team.
Scotty, the season saw you shore up the defense, as Danny Gallivan mentioned, and you've got to look to your defensive play. You must be very proud of the way the club played all around, not just the forwards as well as the defense, not just the defense.
Well, I think so, Dick. Fellas like Doug Jarvis, Bob Gainey, Jim Roberts. The trend will probably change. These players are the ones that you need them to win. You need the scorers too. But I still think that when you get players like these ones did, they didn't score goals, but they kept the other team off the score sheet, the scorers of the series, and I think that was the difference.
Scotty Bowman, congratulations on a great coaching job all season.
Thank you, Dick.
It's just well-deserved, certainly. And we are trying to get some Philadelphia Flyers. They tell us if we can get them down a very crowded hallway out here. Come on in here, Murray. One of the fellows who was not in uniform tonight, but who played a great series for the Canadiens, Murray Wilson, who was soaking wet. He's the one who did get the shower. Murray, first of all, you can perhaps tell the folks why you weren't out there tonight.
Oh, the other night, I got the breakaway. I stopped shot by Tommy Bladen and shattered the bone of my big toe into about 1 million pieces by the look of the x-rays. So we were hoping if we didn't wrap her up tonight, that I'd get back in for Tuesday, but thank God she's all over.
Murray, a lot of the fellows have talked, and you're a fellow who, as you've been injured, you've been able, sort of had to sit back a little bit once in a while during the season. They talk about the spirit in this club. I don't remember it being any better, the fellows who are playing regularly and the fellows who aren't, right?
This club is just unreal. Okay. One of the main, this guy right here.
That's right. I guess
he does it all out there, and even when we do get down 1 or 2 goals, they just have the knack that away we go and away we get going again. you know, got the goal scorers and we got the great checkers in both.
Well, this is Bob Gainey, who is certainly one of the greatest checkers in the National Hockey League today. Bob, congratulations. This is your first Stanley Cup again. Very quickly, I say it to the other fellas. How do you feel, number one?
Well, Dick, I don't think it's going to dawn on us till tomorrow. I think all year we knew we could win it, and we thought we could win it, but now it's happened, and it's the first one for me, so I think it's going to take most of the night to figure out what's going on.
And then we won't be able to figure it out anyways. It'll take a couple of days, Bull. Couple of days.
Bob, what about this particular series coming in against the Philadelphia Flyers, as far as your line was concerned, and as far as your entire plan was concerned, especially the defensive forwards? What was it? Obviously, it had to work.
Well, I think we went up against probably the top line in the league, and Leach still scored 5 or 6 goals. Barber scored one tonight. Bobby Clark didn't get the goals maybe they needed, but we played probably our best hockey against that line. They still come out with that many goals against us, and I think that says something for their team, that's for sure.
Well, you beat a great team, to be sure. Bob Gainey, Murray Wilson, congratulations on a great Stanley Cup victory. Thanks very much, fellas. We mentioned that the Conn Smythe Trophy has been won. Brian O'Neill of the National Hockey League's front office is here, and Reggie Leach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Reggie, if you'll just come in here, Brian, and Brian will take over. Hang on, Reggie, we'll just get this cord straightened out. Brian?
Well, Reggie, you were voted as the most valuable player to your team throughout the entire playoffs by the sports writers that attend these series, and on behalf of the National Hockey League, I congratulate you. I know you probably would rather receive this under better circumstances, but our congratulations to you, Reg.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much.
Well, Reggie Leach, I'm sure that, as Brian said, under better circumstances, maybe a bit happier, but the word from you on behalf of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, we give it all we had, and we lost to a hell of a hockey club, and they deserve it. They're the best team in the world right now, and all I can say is that Flyers will be back next year, and I'd like to thank everybody that voted for me for the Conn Smythe Trophy, and I'm really glad about it.
Ken Dryden said he hopes you don't do the same thing to him when next season starts that you were doing in the playoffs. You were really firing from that right side. Was this your plan against Dryden, or is that just the way it worked out?
Well, that's the way it worked out. You know, the goal I got tonight, you know, the first two I got against him in Philly was onto the left side, so I figure, well, maybe he thought I was going to go to the same side, so I figured I might as well put it up high on the short side, and as it happened, I beat him.
Reggie, a record-setting 19-goal performance in the playoffs, and sincere congratulations on that and the Conn Smythe Trophy victory.
Thank you very much.
Reggie Leach, winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy. So that's the story from the Canadiens' dressing room area. This is Dick Irvin. The Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup.
If you had to put a label on this series, you might call it the best 4-game series you could ever want. Every game close, and there was no thought of a runaway in any of them, but in the final analysis, the Canadiens do sweep the Philadelphia Flyers. And our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will conclude in just a moment.
This week on VIP, the story of legendary Russian Gregory Rasputin.
If my father had been in life, we will be not revolution today.
That's true, he warned the Tsar.
No.
And yet the Tsar would not take his...
Well, he was a clairvoyant, Maria. You should bring that up.
Oh, yes.
He could see what would happen. He said that, remember that if anything happened to him, all Russia would fall. He had these visions.
VIP, very interesting people, Maria Rasputin and Patty Barham.
That's on Monday, May the 24th.
Bob McDevitt here for CBC's Olympic coverage. Recently, cyclist Jocelyn Lovell talked about what he would face while training in Amsterdam.
Racing over there is really fast. The criterium's faster, and it just goes on and on. The speed never slows down. It's just go, go, go all the way. And that's the kind of racing I need.
Follow Jocelyn Lovell and all the athletes to the Summer Games on CBC, your Olympic networks.